So now you should all be able to see my presentation with a bit of luck there. So Christmas is really an important time for online retailer, and most of us take it fairly easy on the lead up to Christmas, and we don't really think too much about what's happening out there, obviously in the retail world. But the retail world is actually powering at this time of year, and we're also looking at carrying on after Christmas, of course, into the follow-on period where we're seeing all the after Christmas sales, Boxing Day sales, and so on. What we find with a lot of online retailers is they don't really think to prepare for this. So let me just go back here a little bit. They don't really think to prepare here for this, and they get caught out, so they don't make the most of the opportunity that the holiday season has for them. So we're really talking about a period that starts in late October and goes through to well after Christmas is actually over, into Boxing Day and into New Year. And although many of you might close up shop on Christmas Day and take it easy, there's still lots of business out there to be had after Christmas is finished. There's many things you have to think about. There's many critical issues. There's a lot of actions you have to prepare for. You obviously have to consider what kind of customer service you're going to offer to your customers and to their gift recipients over the holiday period. You have to think of some critical dates. You have to do some special promotions leading up to and during Christmas. And then, of course, you have to actively monitor what's going on and finally consider what you might be going to do after Christmas is finished. Just recently, in fact, just yesterday, some new statistics came out on what we can expect to see this year for the revenues for retail over the Christmas period, and it's quite exciting because it's telling us that there's going to be some very reasonable growth in the overall retail spend through this year, and that's from from 14th of November through the 25th of December, so a very tight period of time. What we have seen from our customer base is that October was a little slow, it was a little flat, and we believe that a lot of that occurred because of the things that were happening around Australia, specifically during that October period. And here we had the bushfires in New South Wales, and it kind of diverted people's attention away from what otherwise might have been some preparation for the Christmas period. But now we're seeing it in full swing. We're seeing transactions and revenues accelerating, and we certainly see that the predictions overall that have been made by Roy Morgan Research and the ARA are pretty much spot on. So we're seeing some nice uptake in areas like fashion and of course food and household goods also. And across the board from state to state, we're seeing various changes, but it's all very positive with an upward trend overall. So is this holiday period important for online retail? And the simple answer is, for some online retailers, it is absolutely critical to 100% of their profit. But for all online retailers, or all retailers in general, it can contribute 20 to 40% of the overall annual sales revenue that they'll make during the course of the year. So it's really a critical time of year for us to look at how we prepare for this. And you really got to consider that you need to have a plan. Last year, after the holiday period was finished, IBM did a nice digital benchmark study, which I've provided the link to in the presentation, which you can go download. And I think reading through that, you'll find some very interesting information about the trends and habits that consumers have this time of year. It is not like your normal retail trading period of time. We don't quite go into a frenzy, but certainly our online and our offline purchasing habits do definitely change dramatically. So we're expecting to see that again this year. We're expecting to see high proportion of annual sales revenue in the last month or so of the year. We're expecting to see consumers go out there and spend a lot of money in leading up to Christmas, and we're expecting to see online and mobile, specifically mobile, growing dramatically again this year. So you've got to ask yourself some basic questions. You need to get a plan together if you're going to make the most of the opportunities that Christmas have. And there's still time to do that. I mean, you don't, the plan should have really been established by now. But if you actually sit down and you haven't got your plan together, then there is still plenty of time left over the next month or so to make the most out of what the consumers will be doing online and offline during the Christmas buying period. And to pull a plan together, as I say, ask some basic questions and get your ideas in terms of what you're going to need to do in order to capitalize on this period of time. Some of the important questions, the obvious ones are, do you have the right stock on hand? Have you got often acquired enough stock to be able to support the business? Do you have the resources to be able to pick, pack, and ship the potential purchases that are going to be made in time to get to Christmas? Some really basic questions, but many online retailers fail to think through these things, and as such they get caught out where they'll take sales prior to Christmas that they can't deliver. They'll have very upset, disappointed customers on their hands who couldn't get their goods or their gifts in time. And at the end of the day, it means that in the following year you may lose some customers. So you have to consider what you can accomplish and build a plan based around that. If you're going to be involved in any special promotions and you are going to go out and promote your business, then you've got to make sure that your online store can actually handle the volume of business that might come. And we've seen again examples where customers and where online retailers don't plan, where they go out and they might run a radio advertisement campaign or even appear on television, and then they find that their online store gets swamped and just doesn't handle the volume of traffic. So you need to think through those processes. So we're going to cover many of these issues as we go through the rest of the presentation and drill in on some of the issues that you have to consider. So what can you expect this year in terms of potential change or maybe just different activity from what you might have seen a year or 2 years ago? Well, first of all, we're going to start with the last point. We believe there's going to be a late Christmas rush this year. We're seeing it starting already. We've seen delays, we believe, because of some of the issues in October that's slowed people down. And certainly the general impression is that there's a fast build-up now that's going to continue on until we get to, the end of the peak buying season. Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, you have to remember, and so in terms of delivery, shipping and delivery, you really got to consider when you can get those last parcels out and have them turn up at a consumer's door at the right time, and we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But Christmas in the middle of the week is both a good thing and a bad thing, but you just have to consider how that fits with your business. So we're going to see more mobile traffic this year. If your website and your online store is not prepared to be mobile friendly and tablet friendly, then you're going to potentially miss out on some opportunities. Mobile is going to be connected to your advertising media by quick response codes, QR codes. So you need to consider that you're going to have to go and maybe invest in including QR codes into your traditional printed media. If you haven't done that already, it's not difficult to do, but you can create QR codes. People are going to be looking for nice quality items this year. We're going to see an impact from Click Frenzy, which is on the 19th of November. I'm sure all of you have now heard about Click Frenzy and what happened with Click Frenzy last year. It drove an enormous amount of traffic and business to the online and offline retailers that were part of the program. We've seen that occur with Mother's Day campaigns and others, and now we know that on the 19th of November, Click Frenzy is going to go off, so we need to consider what's going to happen. If you're part of Click Frenzy, it's really great, and you need to think about your site and how it's going to handle that traffic. If you're not part of ClickFrenzy, you will still get an impact. People are going to be out there on the web searching for opportunities to buy specials. They're going to take advantage of the fact that online retailers are going to offer good deals around that period of time. So be prepared for an increase in traffic, whether you're part of ClickFrenzy or not. We're also going to be seeing the rise of more social media interaction through Facebook and Pinterest and so on. And Google Plus is really big this year. You may not have put much effort into Google Plus, but guess what? Google has. So, you need to consider what you might do on the Google Plus front as opposed to just your Facebook and Pinterest and other social media outlets and issues. So there are many technical and technological issues that you need to consider to ensure that everything is prepared and ready. So you have to consider from your perspective what you need to have, and what is the best processes to prepare and to go through. The very first thing is we say it over and over and over again, but we'll keep on repeating: content is king. Now, search engines, especially Google, are very content focused. So if you want to get good ranking, you've got to have great quality content and good quality content. And because users are accessing that content on all types of devices, you need to make sure that content is fresh and good and up to date, and the quality of images is great. And get ready and prepared, get that content updated and prepared and ready for Christmas. You need to look to have your logistics as a differentiator. So, we'll come back and we'll talk about shipping in a more detailed fashion in a few minutes, but shipping and logistics need to be part of the overall unique sales proposition that your online store has. Maybe during the Christmas period, you want to consider sales and support and service to be extended periods of hours. So if you're using services like live chat, which is tremendous at this time of year, where consumers get to ask you some questions directly about products and gifts and opportunities. Then, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I apologise. Let me just go back. Where consumers get to offer you their, you get to offer consumers some ideas about what they might do. So live chat is tremendous, but you need to be prepared to service live chat so that it doesn't just become a passive ask a question kind of system. Payment returns over Christmas, you're going to need to be proactive and offer Christmas support for issues like payment returns. If you provide this information on your online store today, then that's going to help your customers know what you can do and will help actually get you more sales. Prepare your marketing, we'll cover this in more detail, and social media, of course. Anti-fraud obviously is an issue at all times, but definitely it's an issue at Christmas. So you need to think through what you're going to establish with maybe some of your anti-fraud rules to look at orders that are coming from strange locations or from weird people or organisations that you're not expecting to see. And then you need to create your QR codes that I mentioned for your social media. You need to think through your Christmas keywords, and a lot of online retailers don't think that they need to go and change content to specifically relate to Christmas. But here's a little example of just doing a Christmas gift ideas set of keywords in Google and seeing what kind of results come up. And you can see here we've got paid results in the top here, and on the side these are all Google AdWords paid results. But then we've got organic results, and you can see that some retailers have already started to put in Christmas keywords right into their standard content, which allows them to get some organic results for certain Christmas keywords. So that's really important to have happen. We can see right here Big W has an ad that's coming in through Google AdWords. So what they have also done is created their special landing page that will be triggered based on that ad. So they've put in content related to Christmas and to their Christmas offers and campaigns and made it a major part of their online store presence. for for consumers to see and do what they need to do to find the right gifts or to find the right advice. And you can see here they've even got a gift finder that they've enabled on their store. So is your online store ready for Christmas? And if you look at some of the larger retailers, you will see that many of them have already included a lot of online content relating to Christmas deals and offers and special promotions. And you need to consider whether your site's been prepared. But as I said, it's not too late if you start now. So it's pretty easy to establish on your homepage some nice Christmas offers with some promotional banners, or even create landing pages right now for special Christmas offers and keywords that might come in through Google AdWords or some other marketing or promotional activity. So now's the most important time. It's not too late, as I said. You can get in to be part of the season. You have to be prepared, as I said, for the fact that there's changes in consumer trends in terms of how they're going to look and find your business this time of year. And one of the big changes is the whole rise of what we call couch commerce. So this is where the consumers sitting in their living room watching TV with their tablet in their lap, and browsing online and maybe buying gifts in the evening while they're doing other things as well. And we can see that over the last 2 years we've seen more than a doubling of the number of people that come via smartphones and tablet devices that go to your websites and go buy online. So this increase is going to continue into the future. This doubling of mobile devices and tablets being the core source of people browsing and buying online. And your website needs to be prepared for that. You need to go see just what it looks like. If your website's just rendering up as a normal kind of look and feel website on a mobile phone where people have to stretch it and pull it and change the size of it in order to see content, then you're going to lose that group of consumers that are using smartphones and tablets to go buy online. Couch commerce, as I mentioned, is also this trend of sitting and using tablet devices. And what we're starting to see right now this year is that the growth of tablets is faster than the growth of smartphone devices online. So for people browsing and buying online, we're seeing that tablets are outstripping smartphones in their growth. And this is leading again to that idea that people are sitting in the living room or sitting in the bus or wherever using their tablet device as a method of browsing and finding products and buying online. This is a great trend. It means that we're seeing a growth in a new type of mobile consumer, and people will come and buy from your site using devices like mobile phones and tablets, but you have to consider how to make it as friendly as possible for them to do that. And if you haven't already tried on your own website to go buy something using a mobile or a tablet, then I urge you to go do that and see what kind of result you get. It might mean that you have to go and change some technology in your own website going forward, but at least you know right now what you're going to expect. So this trend isn't going to change. This whole mobile and tablet trend is continuing, and if anything, absolutely accelerating, leading into the future. And it drives a whole different style of consumer activity. And as I say, if you're using traditional media such as print media and you don't include quick response codes, QR codes, then you're potentially missing out on the use of some of these devices coming to your online store or your online website directly from that print media. So time to think about marketing. As I repeated so many times now, it's probably starting to get boring. Think about QR codes to get that mobile activity. So with all your traditional marketing campaigns, whether they be in a newspaper or flyers or brochures or the journals that go out or whatever, right? Always make sure that number one, you've got your website address. It's absolutely critical you have your website address. And secondly, make sure you've got your QR code. Now, your QR codes can be built really easy. You go search online on Google just for QR code builder, and you'll find there's lots there. Some are free, some are paid services, different qualities. You know, you can get specialty QR codes that are actually images as opposed to just black and white squares. So you can get some really nice stuff. And you can have QR codes that go to unique landing pages or just go to your website, or even just send back to whoever's looking at it your contact details. But make sure that you start to consider putting those QR codes into your traditional marketing materials. If you're using search engine marketing, then you need to go out and consider putting together campaigns that are specifically related to Christmas keywords. So go out and do some searching on Christmas keywords. Use the Google AdWords keyword recommender or keyword tool to go find Christmas keywords, and start building ads that are specifically around Christmas keywords with your Christmas promotions landing page as a landing page for the ads. And you'll start to get activity coming through for people looking for Christmas ideas and Christmas gifts and novelties and toys and whatever it might be. So maybe allocate some of your marketing budget to your pay-per-click campaign. And again, remember mobile. If you're using Google AdWords, there's a simple tick box for each ad to make it mobile friendly. If you don't tick that box, then it's not mobile friendly. So consider making some specifically mobile related ads in your campaigns to go to those people who are browsing online from a mobile device and not just from a PC or desktop. If you're using EDMs like newsletters, email newsletters, then consider again special offers for your Christmas EDMs. And consider also with your Christmas EDMs to send out a coupon for an after Christmas promotion. You know, maybe a discount for purchases after Christmas or free shipping for purchases after Christmas. I'll come back and talk about that a little bit more in a second. But the EDMs are great. Traditionally, the best time for any EDM to go out is Monday morning between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. But you know, use EDMs. They are effective as long as you're using them intelligently and not just spamming people, obviously. Search engine optimization is important, but you know, if you haven't really started to get your content together today for Christmas and for Christmas offers, then you're not going to get much in the way of search engine optimization kick-in and organic kick-in between now and Christmas, because it does take a few days, sometimes a week or more, to get that organic kick-in from any search engine optimization activity. But SEO is really important, and you need to consider how you've got your content and keywords organized on your website to take best advantage of what could potentially be your organic browsing and searching and results. Shopping portals like Google Shopping and Bing Shopping, we'll talk more about those in a second. You can get free access to Google Shopping. You've got to sign up for a merchant account with Google. You can upload a feed to Google Shopping and you get your products up there in the Google Shopping results. It's very easy to do, and it's a great time to think about that, because consumers do go to Google Shopping and to the other shopping comparison sites like Get Price and shopping.com this time of year to look for offers, to look for special deals, to look for cheap prices or special arrangements. So price comparison becomes a big issue this time of year where people are looking for a deal, but they also want quality and they want delivery on time. So the unique sales proposition is important. And then we have the event-driven activities like Click Frenzy on November 19th, and I'm sure you can all go and read through the Click Frenzy website and see what that's all about. If you're not in there, then it may not be something you want to do this year, but go take a look at how that might affect traditional online retail right around this time of year as part of the process. So all those things are important issues to look at from a marketing point of view, but then of course you need to have some promotions to back that up, and what can you do from a promotional point of view this time of year that might make a difference. So you do need your special offers. Everyone's looking for their, their special Christmas specials. They don't have to be super cheap Christmas specials, but they can be good quality but presented well. And as I mentioned, add your Christmas keywords to your product content, to your category and online store content, so that people can see easily and easily get to those things you're recommending. One thing that people do this time of year is shop by price range. So they'll go out looking for gifts in a $20 range or a $10 range. So if you organize your products on your online store with a category of buy by price, then you can make it easier for people to find those products. If you're using search, then most good search engines will have a price slider where you can adjust price to determine what products get delivered by search. If you don't have that, then simply create new categories around price ranges and add your products to those categories that relate to price. And people will then be able to see within their price range what products you have that fit their need. And that's a really important thing to do. You can cross-sell on product by price by simply having products in the $10 category, for example, and then you might recommend products in the $15 or the $20 category as being alternatives. And people might see something they like and looking at a $10 product buy a $15 or $20 product. But it's important to have that navigation capability enabled for people to use. People are also looking for ideas. This time of year, people don't know what to buy. So if you provide gift ideas with categories like gift for mum and gifts for friends, and give people some hints as to what they might buy for gifts, then it's going to help you get more sales. It'll lead you to more transactions, and it's simply again organising some unique categories broken up around specific ideas and adding some products to those categories. And of course, don't forget to offer gift wrapping and gift cards, which is really important this time of year, because some people will buy online and ship straight to a friend. That friend might be overseas or just might be in another city, and so rather than have you deliver to their door and then pack it themselves and reship it, they might just ask you to ship straight to a friend. And that is a great way to get, again, sales. So if you offer the opportunity to gift wrap and provide gift cards, then that's something that will get sales from consumers for you. So multi-channel, as I mentioned before, this time of year is a great way of getting some extra business. If you get out there listed in Get Price or Shopping.com or Google Shopping, or maybe even selling some products on eBay, it will add some extra revenue and give you some extra sales, but be cautious of the shipping and delivery of the issues. If you've got offers that people are taking up on Christmas Day, they're not going to get them the same day. So make sure that you consider the offers that you're putting out onto the other channels are going to fit within your shipping and logistics capabilities. So shipping is the next subject, of course, and it leads right on to this idea of what can we do for shipping to make it all work. First thing is, do you have the ability to have multiple shipping addresses? And surprisingly enough, there are lots of online stores that don't allow you to have a different billing and shipping address. So you need to go check to determine that you can offer to customers a different shipping and billing address so that customers can buy a gift and send it to someone else. Surprisingly, your consumers and customers will pay a little more for shipping if they're shipping a gift to another location. So they may not just be looking for free shipping, they may be looking for shipping options. So it's really important this time of year to offer choice of delivery. Deliver within 24 hours, deliver within a week, whatever it might be. So free shipping is not the only style of promotion you can do around shipping. You can also offer specific options for shipping gifts overseas, shipping gifts in a state, shipping gifts for friends, or whatever you might want to do. Gift coupons into packages is a great way of getting business after Christmas. So if you just insert a simple gift coupon into every package you send this time of year that's valid after Christmas for a month maybe, offering a discount or free shipping or a service, then you'll find that you will get customers that come back to you that you didn't expect after Christmas taking up those gift coupon offers. And so it helps you lead into your after Christmas promotions. Be aware of the cutoff dates, and again here I've made reference for Australia Post. They publish their dates, their hours and cutoff dates online, so you can go and check. But if you're using another provider like Toll or Fastway or whoever it might be, then you need to go talk to them and find out what their cutoff dates are this year for shipping, because it's very important that you deliver what you promise to your consumers. And I mentioned partial push down here as another service similar to adding coupons into a package, but the partial push type concept is that they will put offers from other people into your packages and then give you some money for it. So a great service idea. It might be something worth looking for. Probably too late now for this year, but maybe for next year or ongoing. So shipping is really an important part of what you do at Christmas. It's easy to sell a product, but if you don't deliver that product to the consumer, then obviously you're going to lose a customer long term. Have you contacted all your friends and connected with friends on social media? Now, this year's social media is going to be, it already is, a great driver for business at Christmas. And a lot of customers that we've spoken to have enabled social media campaigns around Christmas. They're starting to see good activity from Facebook and from Pinterest coming to their online stores with new transactions and new customers. It's not about just pushing product, it's about giving people advice. So post information about, advice for the best gift, advice how to handle Christmas, what's the important information that you can give people at Christmas. And yes, also post up your products and your offers, but make it very interactive and make it much more social media interactive and networked, rather than just shoving product offers in front of your social media fans, because what you will do is potentially lose a Facebook like or a fan if all they see from you is product offers and nothing else. So think through your Facebook or social media campaigns this time of year. If your online store's not social media connected, then you really need to go do it now, and you have still got time. So go out and talk to your service provider, talk to whoever built your website, ask them to integrate social media. If you do it yourself, then even go and look at services like addthis.com, which is a free service where you can plug in a little piece of code to the content of your website, and you can enable some really great social media interaction tools and analytics straight from your online store. So a really great thing to do, and I strongly recommend that everyone's online store should be social media connected. So now you've got your promotions, you've figured out your shipping, you've got your plan together, you're selling at Christmas, but have you got to keep a watch out for what's happening? And the answer is absolutely. So you really need to manage and monitor your activity and what's going on with your activity around Christmas. If you're going into something like Click Frenzy, then my advice to you is test your website. You can do that through services like UTest, where you can have them test your website for stress and volume testing. There are other services like that out there. Again, go do a bit of Google work, and you can find lots of people that are willing to test, or you can even go to someone like freelancer.com and get people to do testing for your website from locations other than your own. But I urge you, if you're going into a campaign, then test your website to find out what happens if you get unexpected visitor volumes. And I don't just mean twice the volumes, I'm talking about maybe 10 times the volume that you might expect. We've seen activity for campaigns connected to special events that can draw 100 times the users or the visitors to a website than is normal. So please test your website. Make sure you've got access to things like analytics, Google Analytics, or whatever you use. And of course, you can always enable what we call content delivery networks. They buffer the activity that comes to your website and can help you ride through peaks and troughs for high volumes of activity. And there's, you know, the cheap and cheerful like Cloudflare, you can go and do pretty easily, or if you're at the more enterprise end of the scale, there's services like Akamai, and there's lots of others in between from, you know, Amazon and many other organizations. But consider using a content delivery network. So how would you look at issues that might occur on your website? Here's a little quick example that you can take a look at. So you can see here a graph from analytics for this particular website that says that in October, this website had 2,700 visitors and about 6,000 page impressions. So if we then take a look at the traffic volume, which we can get from the service provider for this same period of time, we can see the traffic volume was about 3.7 gigabytes that equated to 2,700 visitors. So if we expect 3 times the number of visitors to come from a campaign, then, you know, we can multiply that by a factor of 3. We can say that 10,000 visitors might equal 13 gigabytes. So many hosting plans and many online hosting companies will place bandwidth limitations on your website. You need to check what that bandwidth limitation might be. If the bandwidth limitation on this particular website was, say, 10 gigabytes, then what would probably happen after that was reached is it would slow down, what we call shaping of the website, and you'd see that maybe some visitors would not get access to the website that you'd expect, and you'll lose transactions. So look at the opportunity, take the opportunity now to look at what you think might happen. Go look at your analytics from the past, go look at your traffic volume reports, and make some guesses in terms of, not guesses, make some assumptions in terms of where you might end up if you get visitor volumes that peak during this period of time of year. And go talk to your service provider to see if they can change the bandwidth. Many service providers will give unlimited bandwidth as an option, but when you really read into the terms and conditions, you might find that they'll still shape or slow down the activity after a certain point in time is reached. So you should go check it now. So then we gone through Christmas. We've done some great selling. You know, we keep on selling right after Christmas into the new year. New Year's sales are really big, can help push that product out there, you know, especially if you've given some coupons out with your gifts and you get some way to bring customers back to your online store. But after Christmas is a great time to keep on selling. So if you do shut up shop and go out on vacation, you know, on Boxing Day, then well and good. If you're not going to do that, then my advice is to make sure you prepare for Boxing Day and New Year's sales by being available online and by preparing promotions for that period of time. So it doesn't all stop on December 25th, and you can make a lot of good revenue going into the new year if you're prepared. And a lot of people are going to get those Samsungs and those new iPads and the new iPhones for Christmas, and guess what they're going to do on Boxing Day? They're going to sit on the couch and they're going to go browse and maybe buy online. So I'd like to thank you all for listening. You know, eCorner has been around for 10 years now. We are a specialist e-commerce company. That's what we do. So we've got, you know, lots of companies that we deal with on a day-to-day basis who give us great feedback about what they see happening all through the year, and, you know, especially around Christmas. So this year we've been able to collect a lot of information from all our customers, big and small. You know, the large enterprise customers and the small mum and dad customers. And we can see that everyone's building up. They are heading towards a really great Christmas. We're seeing them exceed previous Christmas trends and starting to exceed previous years' revenue and transaction expectations. And in general, volume's up. So overall, our traffic and visitor volume across all our customers that we can look at is well up over last year, and we see that trend continuing through for the rest of the holiday season. So in summary, you know, just prepare yourself, think of the critical issues and the critical dates, think of how you're going to handle marketing this time of year, and there's still plenty of time to go out there and get some marketing campaigns up and running online. What actions do you need to take to make sure your customers are satisfied? How do you service them after Christmas with advice or returns or refunds or just information? monitor what's going on, and then of course, prepare for the after party, because I think the after party this year is going to be pretty big. And with that, I'd like to hand back to Campbell to take over and go through the questions. Thanks very much for listening.
Well, fantastic. Thanks, John. Very insightful presentation there, and I'm sure plenty of retailers are getting very excited at this point in the year. You say, and to launch into the questions straight away, this one comes from Jim. You're saying it's not too late in the year to be implementing some campaigns and promotions for Christmas. A lot of retailers would have started planning for those things potentially months ago, if not even as soon as last Christmas was done and dusted. Is it too late for some things? What would you highlight as being quick and easy grabs that they might not have considered already? And how long in advance should a holistic Christmas campaign be planned for?
Yeah, thanks, Campbell. Look, it depends a little bit on the style of business, what you're selling, and where you're targeting your customer base, and also the size of your business. So, of course, you'll find the large enterprise, businesses, the Myers and Woolworths of the world, would have started planning Christmas 2013 back at Christmas 2012. So, it would be an annual plan that goes on for 12 months leading up to this time of the year. It's so important as a retail trading time of year. The smaller businesses, though, they just haven't got the ability or time to do that. So sometimes they don't even think about it. So the simple ways right now is to jump into search engine marketing, to things like Google AdWords, pay-per-click. Even if you're a kind of slightly larger business or have some unique products to sell and great products, and maybe even ClickFrenzy if you can still get access there and get up and running. But it's not too late to start promoting Christmas if you haven't done it. People go to a website, they might find you online, and they're thinking Christmas, and they want to see Christmas when they get to the website. They want to see gifts. They want to get advice. So if you have your traditional website up, you haven't made any special Christmas content or put any Christmas ideas in, then those consumers are going to look at your site and then maybe go away, and go to the next site. They're only going to really look there for a few seconds, and then they're going to move on. And you might sell products such as food products. I mean, one of the things that happens around Christmas is people leave it until pretty late in the year to start buying Christmas food, meat, cheese, wine, all the things they might want. And so it's a great way, especially for local businesses, to promote their Christmas offers and get them up and running. And we've seen many of the food-related sites, and especially wine and beer-related sites, starting to promote now, especially pick-up or even delivery around the Christmas week or the week before Christmas. So yeah, consider that the style of product you sell is going to affect what you promote, but it's not too late to go and use the online promotional activities, and especially Google AdWords can be pretty cheap to get in there and do something and get some simple and short-term results for yourself.
Fantastic. I should probably just point out at this stage, if anyone else has any questions that they're burning to ask, feel free to jump into that questions panel there. I've got a few more on the board, but there's always room for more. John, there's one that relates to what you were just talking about there from Jessica. She's asking about fulfillment. And I think what she's getting at with this question is how to really sell the fulfillment proposition, or even how to make it really clear to the customers when they need to purchase by in order to have delivery by Christmas. She wants to know where you recommend in the path to purchase you place that information. Is that something that should happen towards the end of the checkout, or should that be plastered all over your landing pages from the get-go?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a tough one. You don't want to scare people away, but you want to make sure that they understand exactly when the cutoff period is for your shipping. So my recommendation is, first of all, if you're going to do special shipping and delivery offers over Christmas, put it into your promotion. So if you've got promotional banners, animated promotional banners and things like that on your website, then make one of those relate to your shipping and delivery options. you should have, I would always recommend to an online retailer to have a page on their website which talks about shipping and delivery. And this time of year, I make sure I change that content of that page to specifically relate to Christmas and explain what the various cut-off dates, what's the last day someone can buy from me to ship to Sydney, to Melbourne, to Perth. Because remember also that, you know, you may be able to ship a product metro to metro in Sydney, you know, a day before Christmas and get it there. You may even be able to put it in the car and drive it there yourself. But if they want it shipped to Perth, it probably isn't going to happen. So, you know, you may need to give them advice around not just what the core date is, but what the dates are around specific areas and also product sizes. You know, you might buy a small gift that you can easily deliver within a 24 or 48 hour period, or they might want to buy a dining room suite, which, you know, there's no way that's going to get there before Christmas. And so depending on what you're selling, and make it very clear. So I'd put it right there in a shipping information page, and I'd always recommend putting a link to that page on every product detail page. So in the product detail page, you might have, you know, somewhere under the price or around the price, a short link that would say, you know, shipping details, and it might be, you know, somewhere around where you have your including GST, or even your shipping estimator might be around that same area. So you might get a link that says, you know, estimate my shipping cost and my shipping, you know, what's my shipping date or my shipping detail. So every product detail page, and put it on the core shipping information page, and you know, if you're going to be able to offer a special arrangement, then stick it right there in your promotional banners as well, but make it visible. That'll also stop the problem for you of later, when maybe some packages don't make it to people because they did buy too late, and they call you up after Christmas and go, you know, I didn't get it until the 1st of January or whatever it might be, or it might be the 1st of January, of course, 5th of January, then, you know, you can say, look, I'm really sorry, but it was clear on the website, and you can see it right there, and, you know, so that's the best advice I can give on that side of things.
Sure. And for want of any other questions coming through, we've got one last one, and that's from Lonnie, who is speaking in reference to Click Frenzy, I guess, but it could happen even if you're not involved. Is what happens if your website does go down? How should you be approaching potentially disappointed customers? Would you give any recommendations there?
Yeah, well, my first recommendation is don't let it go down. And I know that's, you know, a fairly simple statement, but I honestly recommend you test it. I mean, it doesn't cost that much money to get those kind of services I mentioned, like UTest, to do stress testing and volume testing, and test for some ridiculous amount. You know, if your average transaction volume is, you know, 1,000 a day, or let's say 100 a day, then test for 1,000, test for 10,000. And see what happens. You know, if your average visitors a day is 200, then test for 2,000 or 20,000. You know, so it'll tell you right then and there. You know, you'll know that the website's going to break when you hit 1,200 visitors, and at least you know. So if you do break, if the website does go down, then obviously the first thing is to try and get it back up again as soon as possible. So that's going to need to make sure that your service provider is available and can help you with that. For those customers that tried to get your website and didn't make it, you're not going to know who they are. So all you can really do is post a message, and this is where social media becomes so intrinsic to online retail today, because things like Facebook and Twitter won't go down, right? They don't get swamped. So I would always recommend that if you're running a Facebook page and a Twitter account, then you tell customers, you tell the consumers that go to your website that, you know, if they want to talk to you, if they want to find out information about your website, go to your Facebook page, go to your Twitter account, and tell them that you will also give them service and availability information on Twitter and Facebook as well. So then if they try to go to the website, they can't find you, then, you know, they end up back at maybe Facebook and Twitter, where you can explain that, hey, I just got swamped. I'm going to be back up again in a few minutes. We apologise, and get on with it. So first of all, try and make it not go down, give customers good advice, and then use social media as best you can to kind of ward off the effect of that problem if it occurs.
Fantastic. And we have had one more question come through from Nat, who says they've been recommended not to fiddle around with the inner workings of their site's code and modules and whatnot during busy periods. So whilst traffic's high, it might be a bad idea to be tinkering with things. What's your recommendation there, John?
It kind of depends what technology you're using, to be honest, and who built the site and how it was built. So it's a bit of a difficult question to answer. In general, I'd say that's if you don't know the website, and if you didn't just build it yourself, or you don't know who built it, if it's not using an e-commerce kind of system with a content management system, which makes it a little bit more easy to make simple changes. If you've got to go in and change raw HTML code in order to make things change, then yeah, be careful. But it's not so hard to make some simple changes and test, especially if you're adding services like, for example, the addthis.com. This little piece of code being used by hundreds of thousands of websites is not going to break your website. And of course, you can dump it in there and test it, and if it causes you problems, just pull it back out again. So you need to make some content and style kind of changes leading up to Christmas. As I said, you should have maybe considered, some of you may have already considered it by now, some may not have. But if you didn't build the website yourself, if you don't know technically what it's all about, then yeah, proceed with caution, absolutely. Or go talk to your service provider who did build the website, and just ask them what are the limitations, what can you do and what can't you do, because generally they'll be able to pretty easily tell you what's possible.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, John. Everyone, that was John Debrincat of eCorner. We're going to finish up now right on time, thereabouts. Just to reiterate, the recording of this webinar and the slides will be made available to you shortly after the conclusion. Thank you all for attending.